Welcome to the breakdown for May 1st, 2020. This is the show where I'll break down some of the biggest events happening in the world right now and give you my opinion. We find some fun stories, we talk books, we just have some fun right here. Now this is still in pilot. If you didn't see our very first episode, everything from the name to the format to what we're going to be covering is just kind of an experiment right now. I've really enjoyed talking with everybody during the live shows. We're going to keep doing that, but we're also going to try to do weekly, and in this case twice a week, shows, just kind of talking, giving my opinion, hanging out, hopefully having some fun. Now if you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, and hopefully we can help you stay informed and have some fun. Now real quick, I am moving. We will have a really new, fun, great studio for our YouTube videos coming in June when I get into my new home, assuming we can finish the home in time. We'll see. But we're moving out of this current home and into a new one, so bear with me as I'm on my back porch. Audio, video may not be perfect, but I appreciate your support, and hopefully very soon this will all look a lot nicer. But real quick before we get into the news, I have a question for everybody. I would love to know, how are your local stores doing? So I've been posting when I head to the grocery store, mostly on Tuesdays, the stock. Now this week, once again, toilet paper, paper towels were in stock, even hand sanitizer was in stock. Down here in Texas, a friend of mine just posted Sam's Club had a huge amount of Clorox wipes, Lysol wipes and the like. And I was in Walgreens. I just went in there, grabbed one item, and they had pallets and pallets of toilet paper, huge amounts of toilet paper. But talking to friends and family, that's not the case, it seems like, in other parts of the country. While down here in Texas, we're lifting the limits on most things, including toilet paper. You can buy all you want at some stores. Other parts of the country seem to be struggling. So how are your local grocery stores? Are they having the stock you want in stock? Are the items there? Is toilet paper there? Is paper towels, hand sanitizer, wipes? I know here it is still hard to get some things. Hand sanitizer is still fairly rare. Clorox wipes are still fairly rare. But they're coming in more and more often. So let me know where you are. What's the limitations like? I'll love to hear from you. Alright, so with this virus, everything is kind of changing. We just talked about grocery stores. But one of the things that's been a trend in the last 10-15 years is people moving back from the suburbs into major cities. Now we're seeing reports that people are looking to leave major cities and head back to the suburbs. And I thought this was very interesting. Now in the early 1900s and more, major cities, everybody was condensing into major cities. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, people started moving out into the suburbs, and suburbs became a big deal. And that kind of stayed stagnant for a while, and then eventually we moved back into where major cities were kind of the place to be, and people were moving that direction. I want to know from you, what are your thoughts? Do you think that will become a big trend again? Reports are starting to come out that many Americans, fearing that major cities are hotspots in crises like this, are looking to move back to the suburbs and smaller towns. What do you think of that? Are you one of those people? Now, I've enjoyed visiting major cities, but I still kind of like the suburb life. I like having a little bit of land, within a decent drive to an area where I can be in a major city, have all the major city comforts and events and social life. But when I drive that little bit back out to my home, I'm kind of feeling like, hey, even though there are other people around me, I have a little bit of privacy out here. So I wonder if this is going to become a major trend going forward. If we're going to see a lot more people look for that lifestyle where, hey, I'm kind of separated. I've often wondered if one of the reasons Texas was not so hard hit is we heavily rely on private vehicles to drive around rather than public transportation. So, will many Americans look to go that way? Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. But I will be leaving links to all these stories I'm talking about so you can read them for yourself, including the one talking about Americans leaving major cities for smaller towns and suburbs. One other thing that is going to be interesting is there are reports that Americans are going to skip flying for their vacations this year and drive instead. Now, this could have huge impacts on the airline industries who were really doing well before this all happened, and now they're tail spinning with some of the worst performances in years and years. Now, reports are that many Americans are going to skip flying in favor of driving because they feel like it would be safer. Now, I think part of this may also be the fact that gasoline, let's be honest, it's extremely cheap. That makes it a lot more tempting to drive rather than fly. And that could culminate in real long-term trouble for the airlines. I'd love to know, do you intend to fly or do you intend to drive for your next vacation? Now, you don't even have to have it booked. Just saying, hey, here is $5,000. You can go anywhere. You can do anything with it. Would you be driving or would you be flying? I'm kind of drawn on this. I know a lot of airlines are working very hard. Earlier on, the planes were basically empty. You could probably be safer flying than driving. Now I'm hearing that flights are actually starting to become full again, and people are feeling very uncomfortable having to sit next to people they don't know. Even though airlines, I think it's American, is supplying masks, JetBlue and others, I think Southwest maybe, I don't know, don't quote me on that, are requiring you to wear masks. So even with that, I think a lot of people will be struggling with the idea that I'm going to be flying versus driving. So leave me a comment, let me know, where would you go? And would you drive or fly? All right, scientists have potentially developed a nasal spray vaccine for Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's? I'm probably butchering that. Let me know if I butchered the pronunciation of that. My Midwestern accent coming out. But this is really exciting. Alzheimer's is one of the most expensive things people can deal with with an elderly family if you're going to get professional help, or it completely can suck your life away. Not just for the person who's experiencing it, but for the people around them. It's a very devastating disease as you watch your loved ones forget who you are, forget the experiences you have enjoyed with them. Now, there is a report from a scientific study that we potentially may have a cure for this. So I'd love to know what you think about this. Do you think this would be a disease we can ever get a cure? I know I have a lot of doctors friends that repeatedly warn me that, hey, when it comes to this kind of stuff, there may not be a long-term cure. It may be treatments, there may be things, but vaccines are very difficult. But this one makes it sound like we may have one for Alzheimer's, at least according to this initial study. So I'd love to know, how excited would you be about Alzheimer's? I know a lot of my older family members are very paranoid about having Alzheimer's. You just have to watch one family member get it to really realize how devastating it is, not just for you as you forget, because you almost are in bliss a little bit at times, but for the people around you who you forget. So let me know. All right, in the world that Disney will never let a merchandising opportunity go to waste, Disney has released a line of Disney branded face masks where you can get things like R2-D2 and other Disney characters on your face mask. Now, I predict that this may be the biggest trend in 2020 in fashion. We're going from, hey, we're just going to try to find anything to cover our face, right, to designer branded face masks to match your outfits and your wear. Now, the one thing I find interesting about this is 2020 suntans. You know, we got the suntan line here and here. This could be an interesting year of the suntan line as people wear face masks. But I want to know, if you could have any Disney character on your face mask, what would it be? If you want to check those out, there are links in the show notes down below for Disney branded face masks. So keep that in mind. All right, a few fun stories. There is a new Houston, Texas, I believe this is, a Popular Water Hole is what they call this, is launching an adult ice cream truck. Yes, they will bring frozen alcohol drinks to your home right now in a truck. You can grab a whole variety of frozen alcohol-based drinks. You give them a call, they drive over to your home, and they serve you alcohol drinks. Now in Texas, you can do that right now, but you must serve food with it, so you have to actually buy food in order to get the alcohol. The Texas governor has even hinted that he may allow alcohol drinks to continue being delivered after this whole crisis. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Would you order from an adult ice cream truck to come to your home and serve you frozen drinks? Do you think this is something that should continue after the current crisis comes to an end? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know what you think on this. But I thought that was pretty funny, and I love the ingenuity. One thing I found very interesting about this is the businesses who said, okay, what we're doing has to change. But I'm not just going to go sit at home. I'm going to go build an adult ice cream truck to keep my business going. So I would love to know what you think. Are any interesting business models have popped up in your neighborhood? Let me know. I thought that was a pretty clever one, and I love the ingenuity to say, hey, I'm not going to roll over and play dead here. All right, another fun story. A man named Tupac Shakur, I hope I'm saying that right, filed for unemployment in Kentucky. And his application was held up because the IRS, or the unemployment office, thought it was a joke. But no, he actually has that name in Kentucky. So if you have a popular, name that's also a dead famous star, your unemployment may be held up as they try to figure out, are you just trying to pull our leg or are you really unemployed? So link in the show note down there. But I love that. Have you ever had a friend or family member with a famous name? And if so, what was it? And lastly, a book of the week. So I've been doing a lot of walks. I've been trying to enjoy a lot of time out and about. And as I do these long walks, because there's nothing else to do, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. And there was one that I recently finished that I wanted to recommend because I thought it was really good. It's called We Are Legends, We Are Bob, which is a great science fiction book about a guy who was basically died, and he had paid to store his body and his brain for when he could be fixed. And he wakes up in the future where they've downloaded his brain and he can basically travel the universe in a ship. Now, it sounds kind of weird, sounds kind of crazy, but it's a very fun, lighthearted, easy to read audiobook about life after death in this case, and how he lives and helps save humanity, basically. So I thought this was very fun. I'm completely butchering the storyline because I don't want to give away some of the fun stuff in it. But We Are Legend, We Are Bob, it's a 2-book series. It's a very quick, fun read. It's free with Kindle Unlimited. You can get it on Audible, or you can get a paperback book also. I'll put a link to that down below. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just a fun book, which is perfect for this time with everything being so serious, everything being so stressful. Sometimes just a fun science fiction book to be lost in the mix is great. Do you have a book you want to recommend? I'm going to be finishing up my current book, biography of Chuck Yeager, the first man to fly faster than the speed of sound. A man who became an ace in a day in World War II, was shot down and escaped from occupied France into Spain to get back with his air wing in Britain. So I'd love to know if you have a book you want to recommend once I finish my book. I often go back and forth though between like a science fiction or a fiction book to like a biography, history book. I'd love to know. Do you kind of bounce back and forth between different genres? Do you kind of plow through? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I hope you all have a great day. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us. And I apologize that the audio may not have been best. I'll try to find another location where maybe the birds aren't quite so active. So I appreciate your support. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care, everybody.